One, two, three. Three count four.
Hello, I am Be Better Gamer. Welcome to Be Better Gamer Wrestling. This channel is dedicated to wrestling video games, fueled by my love, passion, and obsession for them. Thank you for clicking on this video. I am playing Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, my favorite wrestling video game, and I'm bringing you another created wrestler, another CAW, and I'm bringing you Kazuchika Okada. I'm actually playing this off of my EverDrive, so I'm using the Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 translation patch. I made a video about that on my channel, so you can check that out on my Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 Let's Plays. But it's still like the vanilla version of the game, so there's no mods. I'm making Okada like I would have back in 1999, but obviously, or in 2000 I should say, but obviously Okada wasn't around in 2000, but he is now. He's one of the most popular wrestlers right now, one of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm going to talk more about Okada and everything that's going on with him. But first, let me get to the CAW. For the full CAW, you're going to want to check the description below. In the description, I typed out, I have a link to a Google spreadsheet where I typed out all the moves, fighting style, parameters, all that stuff. But in the video, we're going to talk about the physical appearance, so let's get started with that. Head 2, skin tone 1, face 54, and you can follow the numbers even if you're just using the Japanese version. I've made him both in the English translation version and the Japanese version. Hair 2 is 31, not to be confused with hair 1 being 2. Hair 2 is 31. I went with like the light blonde, and you know, he always has a very unique hairstyle that you can't really emulate in this game, but you know, you can choose front hair 31. You can go with other different front hairs. Some other ones work really well too. For his ring tights, I chose Masato Tanaka's ring tights. They're gold and purple. You'll see a few variations in my other attires. For his wristbands, I went with purple. You can also go with red wristbands for this outfit. I'm trying to base this outfit off of his purple and red and gold outfit that he wears sometimes, where like it's half purple, half red, and that's what I was trying to do with the knee pads. They're supported 3s, number 13, and the boots. So they don't go all the way up to the knee pad. These boots, there's other boots that do that, but these boots are the best when it comes to coloring the laces for this CAW. So I just went with these boots, and I went with gold and purple. You can also go with gold and red. Here's basically the same outfit, just instead of gold and purple, it's gold and red. Again, I'm just like kind of loosely basing it off of the main colors he uses for his attire. You know, here the wristbands are red. You can also choose for this outfit, you can also choose black wristbands. Those work really well also, and he wears black wristbands sometimes with his red and gold outfit. And again, with the boots, I went with gold and red. You can also do gold and black. Sometimes he wears different color boots. You know, sometimes his right boot will be gold and his left boot will be black, so it's hard to kind of do that in this game. This is his much older outfit. I haven't really seen him wear black and red. Well, now he wears long pants, but I haven't seen him wear his black and red outfit in a very long time, so I like to call this my Okada heel outfit. This is when he was heel, and now everyone cheers him. But when he came back and took the title off of Tanahashi, he was heel. But black and red, basically, very simple outfit to do. Pretty much the generic Masato Tanaka colors for the ring tights. And then this is a slight variation on the red and gold, but I made the base of the tights red and then the outline gold, and then I made his knee pads gold, the wristbands red, and then the boots gold and red. And again, for this outfit, you can also do black wristbands, or you can do black boots with maybe a gold outline or a red outline. You can also alternate the knee pads as well, red and black. That works pretty well for this one too. So that's my Okada CAW. Those are my 4 different outfits. Again, if you want to check the description below, this is how I made him. This is not the perfect way to make him. This is not the best way to make him. This is just my way to make him, and I would love to see if you make him this way, or if you make different changes. If you want to change the hair, the tights, the ring pads, the knee pads. Let me know what you do in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Leave a comment for what other CAWs you want to see me make, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do a match. I always like to do a match because I like to talk about the CAW and all the different things I did with the moves and sort of working around. And again, I made this in basically the vanilla version. All I added was, I'm playing this off of my English translation patch, but there's no mods in this game because you can't really play mods on the EverDrive. You can only play like ROM hacks and patches, so I can't do mods. But there's a great mod community out there, and they are, making all the current New Japan people and all the people from Lucha Underground, and they look so cool in the game, and I really need to get on that. I really need to get on making those mods, or not making those mods, but playing those mods on my channel, because there's some cool stuff. And to see like an actual photoshopped Okada face onto Virtual Wrestling 2 CAW and getting the actual tights and design, it looks amazing. But I'm doing it like I would have back in 2000, spending the same amount of hours. It doesn't get easier making these calls. I kind of obsess over the little details. And for this call, this is the first call actually where I have someone accompanying me to the ring, because of course Okada's got to come out with Gato. He's got to come out with his hype man. He's got to come out with his manager, the current booker for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I gave him a little updated outfit too. He's also wearing the Masato Tanaka tights. They're very versatile in this game, just like how the original tights are very versatile in WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy. And I chose Shinya Hashimoto to go against because if you're following New Japan, if you're following Okada right now, he is breaking records. He's the current longest reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's held the title 4 times, but he has the longest combined total of days, and he has the longest individual reign. The person who had the longest individual reign before him was Shinya Hashimoto, and Okada has surpassed that record. He surpassed the total combined number of days, which was held by Tanahashi, who had the title 7 times, and he is currently on his way to tie the number of title defenses, the most number of title defenses, which is also held by Tanahashi with 10. So if he beats Zack Sabre Jr. at the upcoming Sakura Genesis show, which is happening next Sunday, I believe, he's gonna tie Tanahashi, and then the next win, because he's gonna win, he'll break it, and he'll have the most title defenses. He'll basically be the most dominant IWGP heavyweight champion of all time. It's the only title he's held in New Japan. Okay, let that sink in. It's the only title he's held in New Japan. He's won the G1 Climax twice already, in 2012 and in 2014. He won the New Japan Cup in 2013. Since 2012 when Okada came and won the title from Tanahashi, it's only been Okada, Tanahashi, AJ Styles, and Naito that have held the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And this is why, to me, wins and losses in wrestling is so important, because it adds to the narrative. It adds to the narrative that you're trying to create for these characters. Okada probably wouldn't be as big a star right now as he is if he didn't have such great wins and such big wins against a lot of top superstars. And of course, he's got to be good on his own. He's got to be good in the ring. He's got to be good on the mic. You can't make that happen for a wrestler. And luckily, Okada, being trained by Ultimo Dragon, one of my also other favorite wrestlers, being trained by Yuji Nagata, he has a great gift for wrestling. He has a great talent for wrestling, which is another reason why I like him. But when he came back to New Japan and started feuding with Tanahashi and beat Tanahashi, it was a big upset. It was because Okada wasn't really the Okada he is now. He wasn't famous. He adopted a new gimmick. He went on his excursion like they always do after he was training. He went on excursion. He was actually in Impact Wrestling, and they didn't use him properly. They actually slapped on a very insensitive stereotypical gimmick because he's Japanese, so we're gonna make him to be Kato from Green Hornet, and they're just getting everything wrong. They're just getting everything wrong with that, and he was pulled out of Impact Wrestling by New Japan actually because of that. But when they brought him back, he had the Rainmaker gimmick now. He was a new personality. He was a heel personality, and he challenged Tanahashi, and he beat Tanahashi, and that started his feud with Tanahashi over the IWGP Heavyweight Championship that went from like 2012 to 2013. And that series of matches with Tanahashi put him on the map, but it told a great story. It told the story of him coming in and winning the championship, surprising everyone, then losing it back to Tanahashi, fighting Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom, losing again to Tanahashi, a few months later beating Tanahashi again, defending successfully against Tanahashi, main eventing on his own at Wrestle Kingdom, and then losing the title back, and then challenging Tanahashi again at Wrestle Kingdom and losing at Wrestle Kingdom again. So it's like wins and losses really mattered for Okada's feud with Tanahashi, because it really showed this journey. Like, he just didn't come in and just sweep everyone. He came in, he surprised everyone, got a big win, became the champion, but then he got knocked back down really quickly and had to work his way back up. And throughout that time, I mean, he was just putting on 5-star matches, legit 5-star matches, as voted by the Wrestling Observer newsletter and rated by Dave Meltzer. Putting on 5-star matches with Tanahashi. He had a 5-star match with Ishii. He had great matches with so many other people in the company: Minoru Suzuki, Naito, Nakamura, AJ Styles, Ibushi. And I think what really helped to solidify his legacy, not only with the current IWGP Heavyweight Championship run, but the series of matches he had with Kenny Omega. And again, wins and losses matter, because they've only had 3 matches. 3 matches, Kenny Omega and Okada, each 6-star matches, breaking the wrestling internet. Everyone's losing their mind. How can a match get 6 stars? But Kenny Omega and him had one of my favorite matches of all time at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Just this amazing match where Okada won, and their rematch in August of 2017, their rematch went a full hour, and it was a time limit draw, which hadn't been done in an extremely long time in New Japan for a championship match. And it was just an amazing match. And again, a time limit draw in pro wrestling, you don't see that a lot. You don't see that often. And it was executed so perfectly. The timing was right in sense of, who to do it with. And Okada was the best person to do it with, especially his match with Omega. Because how do you top a match that everyone was calling the best match ever that they had ever seen in the history of pro wrestling? And to me, they topped it. That's actually my favorite match of the series. I know a lot of people say the Wrestle Kingdom match is their favorite match, but the hour-long match was my favorite match. And then they meet again at the G1 Finals, and Kenny Omega finally gets his win. He finally gets his win, but it was at the G1, so the title wasn't on the line. And then he would go on to lose the G1. So it sets up so many things, and then it set up Naito challenging Okada, and they had a great match at Wrestle Kingdom this past year. Just everything about Okada. When I started getting back into Japanese wrestling, when I started watching New Japan after many years, I started watching right when Okada was feuding with Tanahashi, right when AJ Styles was still there, right when Nakamura was still there, so 2012, 2013, that's when I started watching New Japan again. And I instantly gravitated towards Okada because he reminds me a lot of like Bret Hart, but with a little bit more charisma, honestly, just someone who, his moveset is very simple. And even with the call, I kept it very basic. I gave him his drop kick, I gave him his running Yakuza kick. I kept it very basic with him. He doesn't do anything too flashy. He's got some unique submission holds that I couldn't really replicate in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. The deep in debt. You can't really come up with a good substitute for that. His Rainmaker clothesline, obviously you give him the clothesline from hell. His Heavy Rain, which is basically like a vertical drop DVD, if you will. I don't know the best way to describe it, so I just gave him a regular DVD. He does a flapjack. A flapjack is one of his signature moves, so I gave them that as his strong grapple, because you can't do it as an Irish whip. He does an elbow drop off the top rope. He does his tombstone pile driver. He's got a pretty basic but recognizable moveset because he does it so well. And he does it so effectively. And I'm reminded of someone like Bret Hart, who I recently did a call of in WrestleMania 2000 and WWF No Mercy. that just did things so simply, but did them so effectively and so well. I mean, just the fact that, Okada's drop kick is revered as, this great drop kick, and he definitely gets a lot of height on it sometimes. Sometimes he gets so high up, he's like he's gonna clear the person he's drop kicking. It's just like there's some awesome still images of him performing the drop kick, but it's also like the right time. He like always manages to know the right time when to do that drop kick in the match. You watch the Kenny Omega matches, you forget about the drop kick. You forget about the drop kick, and it comes out of nowhere. And I'm just sitting here watching it like we're losing our minds over a drop kick, over a move that everyone does. But when Okada does it, it's an event. When Okada does his, his Rainmaker, and the fact that there's a slight variation, and we're to believe that if he spins you around and hits you, you're not getting up. But if he catches you without the spin, then that's like the B level version of the Rainmaker. It's gonna knock you down, but it might not beat you. But then like his fully powered up, where he spins you around and hits you with it, it's just amazing. And again, it harkens back to a lot of the wrestling you would see in Japan in the 90s, where someone like Shinya Hashimoto, who really his Shinya's big finisher was a brain buster. Like he would just hold you up there a little bit longer, and he had some very vicious kicks that he would do, but again, very simple moveset. And Okada just has this nice blend of modern day wrestling, not just Japanese wrestling, but the wrestling that you see in the States, the wrestling that you see all over the world. And a lot of that has to do with his training. He worked in Mexico, he worked in Europe, he worked in the States. He really has this great blend of styles that he's made his own. And I just instantly gravitated towards him. Once I found out he was trained by Ultimo Dragon, I was like, all right, I gotta keep my eye on this guy. But he won me over very quickly. And even to this day, a lot of people, you ask them who their favorite wrestler is right now, you get a lot of AJ Styles, you get a lot of Kenny Omega, but honestly, like, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to always say Okada's my favorite. I mean, I love everyone else. I love Kenny Omega, I love AJ Styles, but there's just something about Okada and what he's doing right now, what he's accomplishing right now, that just every time I watch him, I just get overwhelmed with all these emotions and feelings as to why I watch pro wrestling and why I love pro wrestling. And he truly is the Rainmaker. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to finally get this call done. I've been working on it for quite a long time. I had a few technical hiccups getting the video out, but it's finally out, gearing up for his title defense against Zack Sabre Jr. And yeah, let me know what you think of this call. Let me know if you've made any changes, who else you would like me to see. I mean, I know pretty much everyone's gonna probably want the ace after this, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I might just make that happen sooner than later. So thank you for watching. I am Be Better Gamer. Until next time, keep watching all the wrestling.